Is this Sideshow Premium Format Deathstroke statue the most comic accurate statue ever made? In this episode, we are gonna answer if this is actually better. Let's give this one a grade, shall we? Welcome everyone from What's on the Table. This is Prof G and you are watching another episode of Graded, the show where we're not just going to unbox or review a particular statue, collectible, or figure. We are actually going to give it a grade at the end of each video. So for this episode, we are going to grade the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, Deathstroke. Now before we begin, I just have to get this out there. Deathstroke is one of my favorite villains in the DC universe. I mean, check this out. In any design inspiration, any platform, any show, or any series, any medium, his look is consistent. Well, kind of consistent, sometimes. And at first, I wasn't sure if I was gonna pull the trigger on this one because I wasn't too sold on the photos of the promotional materials. I mean, something about the post kind of threw me off a little, but I just figured, let's do it anyways. I mean, I've been wrong before, and I was hoping that the promo materials just showed me a weird angle or something, but we are gonna find out soon enough. Alright, so looking at the art box, I mean by now if you've been tuning into the channel, you know that I like minimalist art boxes. That's why I really love what they did to the Gotham by Gaslight box. No graphics, just the name of the statue with its appropriate elements and design. But this one I'm kinda torn. It does show the statue on the box design, but the vibrant colors really does make a huge difference. So yeah, all in all, I dig this design and I think it is a keeper. And as always, a huge thank you to Mike of MV Toys and Collectibles for securing me this piece. Priced at $645, I got this from his store for only 44,000 pesos. And as always, I think it is a very fair price. Thanks Mike, let's begin. Now opening this up, you have only one level of styro, but don't let that fool you into thinking that we are getting less than what we should. Because trust me when I say, that is not the case. You have the base of Deathstroke, we are gonna get that out in just a little bit. You have his hands where the swords are already attached. You have the flowing piece that is attached at the back of his mask. See, I'll be honest, I don't know what this is actually called, so please, if you know what it's called, please let me know in the comment section below, because Deathstroke always has that. You have his scabbard, good looking scabbard right there with some scratches and battle damage. You have his tiny looking hand that I think it's gonna be pegged on the base with some small swords as well. You have this bulky, muscular body of Deathstroke, which I think for me is one of the selling point of this statue, but we will talk more about that in just a bit. And of course, the head sculpt of Deathstroke. Now with all the parts, and the parts are pretty straightforward and minimal, let's start doing the assembly of this Sideshow Premium Format statue, Deathstroke. Alright, I gotta pause it here very quickly. See, this is something you have to peg in at the back part of the base. I repeat, at the back part of the base. It's like the dark side of the moon. You won't be able to see it once displayed. So, let's continue. My fellow collectors, this is the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, Deathstroke. Now when I said a while ago that this could possibly be the most comic accurate Deathstroke statue in the market today, I'm actually basing it on the design, texture, accessories, build, and also the color tones of the actual piece. Now hear me out. Previously, we had the Sideshow Premium Format statue, Deathstroke. This one right here. This one was released around year 2018 if I'm not mistaken. Now during that time, this was actually a decent looking piece. But those were the days where Sideshow didn't care much about the base or having an actual story on the design. This one didn't have a lot of accessories, texture, and it doesn't give us the full potential mercenary Deathstroke that we are used to seeing. It kind of looks like a Deathstroke in training. This one was decent, but totally lacking. And if we are going to compare it to the Prime 1 Deathstroke, now I know this one is in 1/3 scale and it's not going to be a fair comparison, but I'm going to do it anyways. They went for the desaturated color tones, meaning the colors of the blues and the orange are not that vibrant. This one still looks good though, and the scarf right there, I'm actually jealous of that. I might do some customization on my PF statue in the future. But if I have to describe this statue in the simplest terms, I would say this statue is perfectly balanced. I'll explain. First, the base. Very unique looking base as they went for the concrete stone texture. Now at first I thought he was just standing on top of a normal ledge of a building with like a gargoyle or something. But upon closer look, Sideshow did the whole Easter egg design where the more you stare at it, the more details you could possibly see. This back part of the base actually has more texture and more detail than the front, which I just don't understand, and realistically you won't be able to see this side anyway. So I don't know, I don't want to say it was a waste, but I guess yeah, it is a waste. Moving on, I really like the details you see at the back part of the base. You see here a lot of skulls, which kind of represents how menacing Slade Wilson is as a mercenary. And you got also the members of the Titans here as well. See, these are the details you would want to see at the front. You got Nightwing, Cyborg, Raven. Those two swords were actually the ones we just pegged in. And right at the other side, close to the front, but still not visible, you got Robin on there as well. Very, very good concept, very good sculpt work and design, but I feel like it's a bit of a waste because I won't be seeing it too much once displayed. Now looking at the front, at first this was just like a gargoyle because it has wings, but it kind of resembles, or at least has features of the Batman, don't you think? So I'm not sure, but if the base is an Easter egg representation of who Deathstroke usually goes up against, and you see the Titans there, then it won't be too far-fetched to think that the big sculpt over there is actually Batman. All in all, it's a good-looking base. Perfectly balanced in terms of shape and composition. Not too big, not too small, it has the story embedded to it. The only downside is, the majority of the design intricacy will not be visible once you display it. Second, the body. Alright, so this is where I was kind of tentative in pulling the trigger for the pre-order of this piece. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the promotional material shown to us or just how weird my brain was wired. But when I saw the pose, and please do not judge me on this one, I immediately thought of Jack Black's pose in Nacho Libre. I'm sorry, it's true. I mean, I'm gonna show it to you on the screen now and hopefully you'll see why. But then again, having this in hand, I think it's just the angles of the pose on the promo material. But now, I am not getting that impression anymore looking at it. So that's that. In general, the body looks really good when it comes to putting a lot of different textures on each part of his suit. You have very fine texture on the blue pants, which if you look closely is a different texture on the blues on his upper body clothing. Same color, different texture. You also have a very good shading on the body parts and the armor, and what I really love about this is the subtle battle damage on the armor. See, they didn't just settle on just shadings and paint wash, they did a lot of deep scratches and even bullet holes. If there's a character or a villain that deserves that kind of look, it's definitely Deathstroke. Now I know the primary weapon Slade Wilson prefers are his Prometheus swords, and don't get me wrong, these are really good looking swords, but it would have been nice if we could have gotten some pistols or a rifle as an accessory, maybe a pistol at the very least just in a holster or something, since he has some flashbangs or grenades attached to him. Adding another weapon of choice would have given him a much more quote-unquote complete mercenary look. Not a deal breaker, just a preference. But all in all, the body is a win. Loaded with texture, and the vibrance of the orange and blue colors in contrast with the silver made it much more appealing. Again, for the body elements and features, perfectly balanced. Last but not the least, the head sculpt. Now if we are gonna compare this head sculpt to the previous Premium Format Deathstroke head sculpt, this is clearly the winner. Good choice on giving him white eyes, as the 2018 version didn't have that. I mean, if you think about it, giving him those white eyes just makes him much more intimidating and menacing. The shape of the head and the color tones, very consistent to how we see it in the comics. But the detail that amplifies his vicious and ruthless character are those battle damage on the mask and the bullet mark dead on the left side, giving you that impression that this mercenary has been through a lot of battles and he still keeps on going. So for the 2024 release Sideshow Premium Format Statue Deathstroke, I know they only made like 350 of these, and if you go to the Sideshow website, these are almost sold out. but you can still join the waitlist if you want. But in my opinion, this one is a good quality statue of Deathstroke. All the elements and all the attributes about the character were well represented, and if you want a quality quarter scale statue of Slade Wilson, this could be it. Having said that, for this 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue Deathstroke, with its design, the pose, the build, the color tones, accuracy, and the price that I got it for, I am going to give it a grade of 8.2. It's very impressive, but it's far from perfect. Just for my preference alone, I wish they had some pistols or rifles as an added accessory to complete his mercenary look. And I also prefer that the intricate details of the base be placed at the front instead of having it at the back where no one will see it. But it's a comic accurate Deathstroke, so this is still a good quality buy. Thanks guys for watching another episode of Graded. If you liked the video, please give me a solid by subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell, or just give me a shout in the comment section below. If you own the Sideshow Premium Format Deathstroke and would give a different grade, please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again, this is Prof G and you just watched another episode of Graded. See you all in the next one.